Hello and good evening. I'm Brittany Brackett, and this is your Onyx News.
Live from Onyx News Universal Studios. Coming up next.
Prosecutors talk of the manipulative nature of R. Kelly. California parents of 13 youth plead guilty to torture and abuse. I don't see nothing wrong with $1 million bond, baby. Robert Kelly is being held on $1 million bond, symbolizing $250,000 for each of the 4 women he sexually abused. Kelly would have to come up with 10% or $100,000 to be set free until his trial is set to begin. Kelly targeted women and girls as young as 14 years old, according to the allegations. Evidence is mounting, including a BBC documentary speaking out against Kelly, plus Terrius Youngdale Nash, a.k.a. The Dream, having produced the gritty Surviving R. Kelly documentary, which has opened the door to change. We have Nell Johnson, our Onyx News correspondent, here to tell us more about the details.
52-year-old Robert Kelly was charged Friday afternoon with 10 counts of aggravated sexual assault against 4 females, 3 of those which were underage at the alleged attack. Now, right now, he had to go appear in court this morning, and him and his lawyer, and he pled not guilty to all of those charges. And one of the victims, you might remember back in 2008, was part of he was on trial for child pornography, where she appeared in one of the videos, and I believe she was around 13 years old at the time. And at that time, she said that wasn't her in the video, but now she's of age and now coming back around. So she's part of the 4 victims.
Well, Nell, do you think that the hashtag #MeToo movement has emboldened people to speak out against R. Kelly in this case?
What's been reported is the movie Surviving R. Kelly. 2 of the victims was on in that movie, and that's the reason why it's coming back around. And it's been alleged that he spent time around school. It's actually well known that he's been hanging around schools for a long time. And one of those victims, again, during that trial at the 2008, is where she received a business card with his personal phone number on it. That's how they met at that trial back when he was acquitted. He was acquitted at that trial back in 2008.
Well, his attorney said of Kelly that he's a rock star. He doesn't have to have non-consensual sex. His DNA was found on the clothing of one of the accusers, and 2 of the 4 are at least underage at the time. They were, the time the allegations came out against him. Almost as if a rock star wouldn't have the desire to do anything of that nature, which is beyond me. But do you believe that based on the evidence, R. Kelly conducted these acts? And if so, should a statute of limitations apply since some of the acts happened back in 2008?
Well, according to sources, AP News, that they are charging him based on being 5 years older than the victim. So that's how they're going about it. Now he's 52. Back then he was 21. So by him being that 5 age difference in there, that's the angle that they're going. And the prosecutor at the time painted a very detailed picture during the bond hearing of the acts that were committed against those the victims.
Okay, well, what makes the current allegations different from his trial more than 15 years ago? And how do you really think this will play out with everything that's been presented so far?
I believe it's one of the 4th ones, the hairdresser. I don't think she was in the earlier one, was the underage one. This lady is of age, and she was his hairdresser and went to braid his hair, sources say. But he didn't want his hair braided. He wanted his head massaged.
Right.
Yeah, he wanted something else. And that's the picture the prosecutor painted Saturday at the bond hearing. So I believe with those allegations and the Surviving R. Kelly series that was on,
Right.
that all of these things are coming together now.
Well, Nell, as we close, I do want to thank you for your time and for your updates. We'll look forward to more things coming from you. Don't go too far. We will have updates of the family who is accused of torturing 13 children up next.
Do you have trouble falling asleep or wake up with a sore neck or headache? Then it's time you discovered MyPillow.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. 10 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota. I personally guarantee that MyPillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
Call now or go to mypillow.com. Use this promo code to save over 50% on a MyPillow 4-pack with 2 premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
The husband and wife team David and Louise Turpin are headed from the house of horrors they owned to the real prison of horrors. The couple pleaded guilty to 14 criminal charges in a deal that will most likely keep them in prison for the rest of their lives. The couple was detained after one of their 17-year-old daughters jumped out of the window and called 911 to rescue the rest of the siblings. The children were malnourished and had been chained to beds, barely bathed and fed, and even kept in cages like animals. The kids rarely left the house except for annual family vacations to Las Vegas and Disneyland, and the occasional Halloween outing to seem as normal as possible to neighbors. The couple will officially be sentenced to life in prison on April 13th and will not be eligible for parole for a minimum of 25 years. We do have Miss April Phelps, who's joining us as one of our Onyx News correspondents today. Hello, April.
Hi.
So, do you think the children not testifying will hurt the case, or will it stand on its own with the evidence provided?
I believe that the case is going to stand on its own because of all of the charges that are being brought before them. I don't believe that it's necessary for the children to have to go through reliving everything that they have endured
I agree.
to this point until they've been removed from the home successfully.
So with the charges that have been given, do you believe that the children will be affected by the parents headed to jail? I mean, the oldest has only a third grade education from what I read. So what do you envision getting past this will be like for the adults as well as the younger children?
Well, the adults of the 13 children are their hopes for the future are high, so they're not allowing this to bog them down. They're all they're all going through counsel. So I think that as the children are progressing now, the help that they are getting, young to the old, that this is going to help mold them further for the future, so that way they don't have to deal with all of this stuff that they have endured. They can go ahead and put it to rest and move forward with their lives.
Well, do you feel that the potential for the parents to essentially pass away in jail is punishment enough? I mean, with all that the children have been through, this has to be difficult for them. Obviously, not having to be on the stand and talk about what their parents have done to them. Do you think that that's really punishment enough for the parents?
Sure, I'm sure that it, for the children, they are relieved that they don't have to get on the stand to testify against their parents. I know that through the experience of the abuse, I know that can cause you to harbor some pretty negative
sure.
feelings towards your parents, and not to in fear of them being able to do something to you again,
Well,
even though they're behind bars. That puts a child in that state of mind.
well,
But we do believe that them not having the option of parole for at least 25 years, and they're already at the age of he's 57 and she's already 50, so
right.
the likelihood of them passing in jail is pretty high.
And I guess what bothers me too when I read this story is that, she's 50 years old. She just gave birth 2 years ago. And, you would think that nursing that child and taking care of that child would be something that would be normal as a nurturer for a woman who has that many children. I just don't really know where things went wrong. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about this story in the news just so we can kind of get a grasp on everything that's going on. Thank you so much, April, for your news, and we look forward to updates. Stay here. Don't go too far. Pastor Mark Burns will be coming to talk to us about the North Korea summit and President Trump.
Do you have trouble falling asleep or wake up with a sore neck or headache? Then it's time you discovered My Pillow.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of My Pillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. 10 years ago, I invented My Pillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made My Pillow machine washable and dryable. I back My Pillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota. I personally guarantee that My Pillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
Call now or go to mypillow.com. Use this promo code to save over 50% on a My Pillow 4-pack with 2 premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. As President Trump meets with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un this week, he's decided that there's no reason to rush for them to denuclearize as long as Kim Jong-un instructs North Korea to cease missile testing and launches. Trump claims there have been no launches for weeks and that the U.S. can trust that we can remain in good standing with North Korea. The deal seems simple enough. As long as North Korea stays friendly, we can remain cordial as well. On this second historical visit to North Korea, Trump has made history as the first president to have a sit-down with Kim Jong-un, not once, but twice. I think I would like to see ultimately denuclearization of North Korea. I think we will see that ultimately. I have no pressing time schedule, Trump said. Here to add to this conversation is Pastor Mark Burns, a leading spiritual advisor to President Trump. Good to have you back, Pastor.
Happy to be here, Brittany.
What do you feel is the true reason for Trump not pressing Kim Jong-un in regard to demilitarization? Could we be preparing ourselves to catch up to the level of warfare that North Korea already has?
Well, first of all, Brittany, we are not, as the United States government, catching up to North Korea. But again, we, in reference to manpower and military power, North Korea doesn't match the might of the United States Army. Matter of fact, nobody does in the world. And so we're not having to catch up to North Korea. But the fact is, the president has made it very clear that, it's the production of nuclear warheads that is a problem with North Korea. And so he's not really in a rush to have them removed, but he's just simply saying, as long as there's no production of these weapons of mass destruction, then right now there are other pressing matters that we have at hand, and as long as North Korea and Kim Jong-un is willing to come to the table, then we have a lot to talk about. A lot can be done.
Well, as you say that, here's another question for you. Does Trump and the U.S. honestly believe that North Korea is not secretly preparing to possibly launch missiles? And if yes, will the U.S. retaliate with creating our own versions of nuclear warfare?
Well, again, the president said it early on, and I think we're way past that because this is why President Trump is meeting with Kim Jong-un in Vietnam. The fact of the matter is, the president made it very clear that it would be essentially suicide for Kim Jong-un and the North Korean military if they were to launch any type of attack on any of our allies, especially the United States of America. And so, again, I think Kim Jong-un, which is why he's come to the table, understands that, really, our country can be just like Vietnam, who was once a formidable foe during the Vietnam War, but yet now is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And that is due to the friendly relationship that they have and have developed with the United States of America, which is why Vietnam, I think, is a great place to meet with Kim Jong-un for the second time. It's because the president is simply showing Kim Jong-un what North Korea could become like if they are willing to, follow instructions and be willing to come and get this deal done that the president wants. Yes, get the deal done that the president wants done.
Well, what do you think is the main focus when it comes to preparation? I mean, are we comfortable that we will never be at war with either Russia or North Korea?
Well, listen, I mean, we have the greatest and the strongest military in the world, okay? Right now, we're at the strongest that the United States military has ever been in the history of the United States of America under the leadership of President Donald Trump. And so I don't think there's a worry whether we would go to war with North Korea or Russia. Again, both of these countries are struggling financially. And the last thing that they need and their people will want is to go to war with the mightiest military in the world. And so, I don't think that we have to worry. Again, this is the thing about President Donald Trump. People don't want to talk about. I mean, he should be receiving a Nobel Peace Prize for what he has done by bringing North Korea and South Korea, China, to the table at the same time. And so this is history in the making. That President Trump and his leadership, his deal-making abilities, to bring people to the table. Listen, I heard somebody say this: if you're not at, if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. So North Korea is happy to be at the table.
Well, in about 30 seconds, how can we be sure that they will keep their end of the bargain?
Well, we can't be sure. I mean, North Korea is North Korea. I mean, we cannot be sure. Again, we can simply just come to the table. And President Trump has made that very clear. He's at the table. He's in Vietnam, and he is simply showing North Korea, this could be you. This could be for your people. Make sure you do what you say you're going to do.
All right. Well, Pastor Mark Burns, who is one of the leaders of the Trump administration's spiritual advisors, we appreciate you being here. Our last story of the evening will be in regard to the Native Americans gone missing, women and girls. Up next.
Do you have trouble falling asleep or wake up with a sore neck or headache? Then it's time you discovered MyPillow.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. 10 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota. I personally guarantee that MyPillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
Call now or go to mypillow.com. Use this promo code to save over 50% on a MyPillow 4-pack with 2 premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Immune Fortress is a supplement that helps increase your glutathione, also known as GSH, nature's master of all antioxidant levels in the body, which are often deficient due to overall aging and when chronic illness is present, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, and kidney problems. The key to Immune Fortress effectiveness, other than taking it correctly, is consistency. To get the best results, take it on a daily basis so your body has the elements it needs to naturally consistently build glutathione levels in order to fight and repair cellular damage and boost your health. Order our Combo 1-2 Punch to boost your immune system today. www.immunefortress.com/now.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
Finally, we found
my
his assignment. He rushed through it. I wonder if he even learned anything.
I wasn't gonna get it right, so I just wanted to get back to playing my video game. At least I'm good at that.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
Recently, there have been an influx of lawmakers in at least 7 states that have initiated legislation to address the unresolved departures of many Native American girls and women. Representative Derek Lente has spoken out against the unexplained matter and has started a measure in New Mexico to shed light on the women who were killed at more than 10 times the national average on reservations, reported by AP News. Families of victims have reported feeling slighted when interviewed about their missing or deceased loved ones. Further investigations prove that, in fact, there had been a lack of effort and a sense of urgency made to close the cases of these women. Representative Gina Mossbrucker, a Washington state Republican, has signed 2 bills that plan to improve the overall process of beginning search attempts. One provides a count of who has gone missing in the state, totaled every June, and the other would require at least 2 staffers who would be assigned specifically to the cases and have accountability for their work. We are with April Phelps, who's one of our Onyx News correspondents. April, thanks for being with us.
Brittany?
Minnesota, the Dakotas, Montana, Washington, New Mexico, and Arizona. These are just a few of the places that have taken steps to further the searches and the overall case study on these missing women. Do you believe that other states will join them? And if so, what will it take?
Right now, we do believe that that many states will begin to join in with them. It is going to require more manpower. It is going to require more staff to be able to handle these cases, because I know that the Native Americans have felt slighted for so many years, and in order to make it right with them again, it is going to require more staff, more searches, and more states getting behind this movement.
I agree. Well, when it comes to these new measures, should New Mexico be the example to follow? I mean, should these other states just be able to implement exactly what they're doing, or do you think they should take another kind of measure?
I believe that they could be working together, because what may not be working in New Mexico, because this is where, these issues are, a majority of these issues are. So what can they pull from some of these other states that have been successful in getting these crimes solved? And that way we're implementing everybody, and everybody stepping in and making sure that these families are really taken care of, because that's what it's all about. It's all about taking care of these families and making sure that we make it right again.
Well, what else can really be expected to come from these states to prevent these women and girls from being overlooked anymore and have justice served?
Again, it is going to take more employees to go through all of these files, because there are tons of files that need to be gone through in order for justice to be served for each and every one of the family members. So that it's going to take more employees. It's going to take more staff to come in and really dig through these files in order to get the justice that these families deserve, so they don't feel as if they have been slighted again.
And I read in a couple of other articles from AP News and other sources, and they even talked about the fact that some of these women, I mean, we have women and girls actually that almost mounting up to about 3,000, a little less than 3,000 of these cases that have gone unsolved. Some of them all the way back from 1979. And a couple of authors of books that talk about this subject have said that they feel that women have been undermined, so to speak, or, you know, oh, she was just hanging out with this Joe over here, and, you know, she might have been drinking too much. The police might actually be taking that approach instead of having a sense of urgency to look for these women, almost as if, you know, they caused the situation for themselves, not necessarily an abduction. So what do you think would be the message to those police on those reservations?
You know, it's all about not trying to stereotype anybody. Just because the way that someone dresses or who they hang around with, that does not justify them being murdered. That does not justify them being them disappearing. It doesn't justify any of that. And so bringing in, maybe it's going to take pulling all of those police officers there that's on the reservation. Maybe it's going to take replacing them with new, fresh people in order to get these cases solved, and proper training. It's going to be, it is needed, proper training, so that way you're making sure that you're doing whatever you need to do to get all of these cases solved, because it's we don't need to continue to have them feeling as if they have been slighted.
And I just want to piggyback on what you just said there about, you know, being undertrained. That's been an issue too. You know, they have police that have been undertrained, and they're not really sure how to handle these cases properly. So I'll be looking forward to learning more about these stories and what's going to be happening with an update for that. Thank you again for allowing us into your homes every evening. We do appreciate it. We also appreciate your feedback, so make sure you tell us how the show is going and what you'd like to see. This is Brittany Brackett reporting from Onyx News. News from a Black perspective. Have a good night.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, you know, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.